How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown. Would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him.
I'm fighting Gervonta Davis on
wow.
Netflix. Let's go. People think that he could actually beat me, and people think he could outbox me, and he's so powerful and this and that. That's what makes it a good fight. November 14th, Netflix.
Jake Paul has finally done it. He's stepping into the ring with Gervonta Tank Davis, and the boxing world is in shock. The fight hasn't even started, but the reactions are already pouring in. From legendary champions to rising contenders, everyone has something to say about this explosive matchup. Some are calling it the biggest circus in boxing, while others believe he might actually shock the world.
Maybe he'll fight Jake Paul instead. What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money. But from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me, and if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
there's a huge size advantage, though.
It is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?
Yeah.
Dave Allen gave his reaction, admitting he never enjoyed Jake Paul's bouts with Mike Tyson or Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., citing the age gaps and the awkwardness of the contests. However, he stated this matchup is fine as long as nobody gets hurt since it's just an exhibition bout. But what does exhibition even mean in this context? Sources are already leaking that they'll be using 12-ounce gloves instead of the standard 10-ounce, a small change that could drastically reduce the chance of a one-punch knockout, raising questions about whether a decisive finish is even possible. The announcement has created excitement and debate, with followers curious about how Gervonta Davis will manage the YouTube star. Jake Paul's official post on Instagram was dramatic and like a show. Size against speed, power against precision. One will succeed and one will fail. From Atlanta, live worldwide, exclusively on Netflix Friday, November 14th. The choice of Atlanta is fascinating. A city with a massive boxing fan base, yet neutral ground for both fighters. This statement captured the precise formula Jake thrives on: hype, drama, and spectacle. By presenting it as a battle of contrasts, his size against Tank's speed, Jake positioned the bout as a clash of archetypes. The Netflix agreement added legitimacy, indicating that the fight will reach a huge global audience, a major power move considering Netflix's recent billion-dollar investment into live sports. The boxing community was surprised when journalist IFN Boxing shared on Twitter Jake Paul's explanation for his fight with Gervonta Davis. Jake explained that it will be an exhibition with 3-minute rounds, and they cannot make it professional since it's just an exhibition. He also said that he will come in at 195 pounds. This comment immediately set the tone for the debate around the matchup. To put that in perspective, Tank's last professional fight was at 135 pounds. That's a 60-pound difference, a jump so massive it's almost unprecedented in modern boxing history.
We were yelling so much about him fighting someone, fight somebody your size. His next opponent is, by far, the most credentialed guy he's ever fought. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds.
Exhibition bouts have long had mixed reputations. Some followers dismiss them as spectacles, while others see them as exciting entertainment. For Jake Paul, who has made his name by mixing entertainment with combat sports, the format fits his brand. Still, critics contend that setting the weight at 195 pounds and restricting it to exhibition status shows how far the bout is from a typical professional fight.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, he's got a 40-year age gap between them. Why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring, and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. He claims to want to be a real fighter, but he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. He fights, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So,
On YouTube, analyst Showbiz the Adult shared his view that this was the plan from the beginning, and Tank Davis and Jake Paul had known about it for a long time as the fight was in talks for many years. Rumor has it that a deal nearly came together 2 years ago, but fell apart over a rematch clause that Paul's team refused to sign. After the Lamont bout, the Jake Paul matchup was close to being confirmed, and now it finally has been. This observation indicates the fight is not a sudden surprise, but rather a calculated move.
And I mean, it's crazy the way fighters are reacting. You saw Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is literally calling Gervonta Tank Davis a duck. Like, I told you so. And it's so funny. He is so pissed off that he went off on me. He went off on him. He sat back and two-tone and shit.
And he sucked back and suck a dick. He worse than Showbiz because Showbiz is a literal troll.
The brother's pissed. And I totally get it. And you guys have asked me, hey, Showbiz, is this a duck? Yeah, it is a duck. He dunked Lamont Roach rematch, right? But the funny thing about it is, this was always the plan. You saw immediately after the Mike Tyson fight, Gervonta called out Jake Paul, and Jake Paul had a response.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it.
For years, Jake Paul has been seeking opponents who could raise him beyond YouTube celebrity status and into mainstream boxing legitimacy. Gervonta Davis, despite being shorter and weighing significantly less, has the aura of an undefeated champion and knockout artist, with an astonishing 93% knockout-to-win ratio. When Ryan Garcia posted his reaction, he did not hold back, writing, "Boxing is officially the WWE." Garcia's direct statement reflects a frustration shared by numerous purists, especially coming from him, the man who suffered a brutal body shot knockout at the hands of Tank Davis himself. To him, spectacle has surpassed sport. It suggests that fights like Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis obscure the line between athletic competition and scripted entertainment. While boxing has always toyed with spectacle, from Muhammad Ali's exhibitions to Floyd Mayweather's money bouts, Ryan Garcia's tweet highlights how far the pendulum has swung. For younger stars like him, this tendency is concerning. Genuine contenders must work endlessly for their chances, yet a YouTuber-turned-boxer gets mega events overnight.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year? Is that the one you want next?
Yeah, it's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
Oh, well, what is?
You might see it in a minute.
This was always a thing, and which kind of explains why they robbed Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach won that fight, bro. They robbed him of the knockdown. He won that fight. You count the knockdown. Let's just say it's a draw. You count the knockdown, Lamont Roach wins officially. All right, they robbed him of the knockdown. And which makes sense, okay? Because this is going to be one hell of a bag. And I want to make this understood. This isn't one hell of a bag because Jake Paul is a hell of a bag type of guy. They both are.
Analysts noted that Gervonta Davis canceled his rematch with Lamont Roach to pursue the Jake Paul opportunity. The decision shocked many in the boxing community, especially when you consider the numbers. The estimated purse for the Roach rematch was around $3 million for Tank, while inside sources are claiming his guaranteed payday for the Paul fight could exceed $30 million before a single pay-per-view is even sold. They also explained that delays happened because Jake Paul initially wanted the fight sanctioned as professional, a request flatly denied by every major athletic commission they approached. In the midst of the uproar, Lamont Roach himself went to X, writing simply, "Told ya, Lowell." His reaction was filled with irony. A win in a rematch against Davis could have set him up for life and cemented his legacy. As the man who forfeited his rematch opportunity due to the spectacle, Roach positioned himself as someone who saw this development coming all along. The laughter in his tweet hides disappointment, as his career progression was pushed aside for an exhibition. His words are a reminder of the collateral damage caused by these money bouts. Fighters working their way up the ranks often get pushed aside for celebrity matches. Again, Showbiz the Adult added to the fire with another bold assertion that Jake Paul financially is very well off. And also he is very powerful, and now he also can fight, and claims that Jake will knock out Tank Davis. He pointed to the Anderson Silva fight, where Paul landed a clean knockdown against an MMA legend, as proof that his power is real, regardless of the opponent. This viewpoint highlights the transformation of Jake Paul in public perception.
If Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul, if he wasn't this YouTube guy, it was just a boxer, and you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever, knock him out with one punch like that, you'd be like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's fucking for real. Because nothing about watching him fight screams like he's in over his head. If it wasn't that big YouTube star, you'd be like, that dude's got dynamite in his hands.
No longer viewed only as a YouTube disruptor, Jake is increasingly seen as a legitimate threat in the ring. Doubling down on his comments, Ryan Garcia posted again, "BTW, if the fight does happen, I'd bet on the heavyweight." This sentence added nuance to his WWE comparison. While critical of the spectacle, Garcia recognized the reality of weight in boxing, 195 pounds. Jake Paul holds a massive advantage over Davis, who naturally fights at lightweight. Before Davis, Jake Paul's aspirations extended even further. Reports emerged that he was negotiating with Anthony Joshua, a heavyweight giant and former unified champion. While the negotiations never materialized, the excitement showed how Jake constantly aims to stun the boxing world. The sticking point, insiders say, was the broadcast rights, not the money. The Joshua bout might have been too ambitious, but the Davis fight serves a similar function, creating debate, controversy, and headlines. Jake knows that even failed talks keep his name trending, building excitement for whatever comes next. Now, with November 14th confirmed, he has again demonstrated his ability to secure the unexpected. The biggest joke in this entire scenario is the sheer unpredictability. Not long ago, conversations circled around Gervonta Davis, possibly stepping away from boxing, yet now he finds himself in the middle of one of the year's most talked about matchups. What does this mean for his legacy if he loses to a man who started his career on the Disney Channel?
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong?
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
On the other side, Jake Paul continues to reshape expectations, changing rumors into headline-grabbing spectacles. This fight captures exactly what boxing has become today, an unpredictable blend of sport and entertainment, where every announcement feels like the next shockwave. Analysts think Jake Paul would have preferred a fight on Netflix given its global reach. However, they say that Anthony Joshua's long-term deal with Matchroom and his stake in DAZN complicates things. Joshua is bound to a multi-year $100 million-plus contract to fight exclusively on DAZN, making a Netflix event a breach of contract. Analysts add this created huge obstacles as dual broadcasting was not feasible. In the end, they feel it is better for Joshua to focus on closing his career strongly. There is a massive weight difference between the fighters, which makes this clash unpredictable and dangerous. We're talking about a potential 60-pound discrepancy on fight night. Jake has the natural size and power advantage, giving him the ability to impose himself physically in the ring. On the other hand, Tank has elite skills, experience, and an impressive prime record that could neutralize Jake's strength. Can speed and technique truly overcome such a colossal size disadvantage? History is not on Tank's side. This difference in attributes means the fight can swing in either fighter's favor, adding intensity and uncertainty to the matchup. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.